This video is made for adult collectors because bro looks like Dracula. As the name suggests, there he is, sideways. I initially wrote a script for this that was a bit more negative, and there are still aspects I don't like about this figure, but I'm having a lot more fun with it since getting these two. Don't worry, this will make sense. I got this Gundam and then DevCon, and I like these two, but they don't articulate as well as Sideways. It then made me want to pick up Sideways more and mess with him, and then I started having more fun with this figure. The Gundam is good, by the way, the legs just don't like staying on that well on mine. This is Sideways from Transformers Age of the Primes. I didn't like the parts forming, and I still don't that much, but this figure has so much more to offer than I originally thought. It's like being the primary thing I've messed with over the last few days after, like, you know, Devastator and I finished all that. I'm usually okay with parts forming, but I don't know, I think it's because I had the original for so long that this just feels odd. He looks bang on with the sharp angles and the vibrant colors. Yeah, he's primarily a dark, rich black, but there are some nice sharp oranges throughout the whole thing with lots of silver and some bits of gold. It is missing the green on the wings, which I kind of wish it had, but the green on the weapon is still there. Speaking of the weapon, it looks cool with the fold out fins and the cyber key that is fully painted, though I do wish pressing the key would actually move the latch to make the symbol change, because there's a latch on the back, you can manually do it, but I wish the key still pushed it down. That might be something to do with like pressure on the small portion of the key or the space inside of the thinner thing. I don't know, it's a small nitpick. I do like how the fins on the back move independently from each other, means you can pose him and kind of make it look like he's got a flowing cape if you got the right angles. He can use both wings as swords like the original, and he can wield them quite well. I like the head sculpt. It reminds me a lot of like Prime Soundwave's face, but a bit more bat-like. I dig the vampire ears and the teeth on the face. Like, again, this whole thing just like feels Dracula. There's also so much this thing can do, like get real low, look acrobatic. It's a lot of fun. This is one of those figures where it takes a little bit more effort than you'd kind of like to stand him up straight. Like if I take DevCon here and I just go boom, now he's standing up straight. But with Sideways, because of the amount of motion the legs have, you can sometimes just kind of struggle to get everything to line up so that he's not like wobbly. That's a little nitpick. It's not like a major downside to this toy, but the articulation, but because of all that, you know, he's really, really posable, except for in the head. I wish it was a ball joint. All it can really do is rotate left and right, and not very well because the chin bumps into the collar, but you can do a full 360. Can't really look down. You can like sort of get this to go like that, I guess, if you really want to, but it doesn't have the range. These shoulders can do a full 360. They can go out that far. You have bicep rotation, single jointed elbow that bends at 90 degrees. You do have wrist swivels, which is nice. He does have a waist joint, and these can move out of the way to accommodate that waist joint, which is a thing the original didn't have. The hips. So because of the fact that there's so much space down here, he has the same articulation as like Maximum Spider-Man down here when it comes to like the hips, because Maximum Spider-Man has dropped down hips to allow for the hips to go forward. They can just go all the way up. And then you have like that beautiful knee bend, so you can do this. That's the highest knee bend I think I've seen on a modern Transformers like mainline toy. That's insane. But the hips can go forward all the way. They can go back all the way. They can go out. You can do the full splits. You have thigh rotation, single jointed knee that bends all of the way. And then the ankles can go down. They can go up a tiny bit, and then he has an ankle tilt. So I wish the feet articulation was slightly better, and I wish the head articulation was better. Otherwise, I think this thing is fantastic when it comes to like what you can do with it. It does look a bit awkward because of all the pointy bits that stick out. In certain shots, they'll like cover things, and you got to be really, really creative with how you like photograph this guy if you're a toy photographer. I am not a professional toy photographer. It is still cool. Oh, and the weapon can rotate because it's on a 5mm peg. And then you can fold these out if you want. But yeah, he's very articulated, and I like that. So yeah, I'm liking the robot a lot more. I wasn't having the most fun with it before, but now I think it's actually quite nice. My biggest issue was that it didn't do much different from the original for me, but the articulation is still like very nice. So if you've ever handled the original, it's about, my lights moved. It's about the same. It is. However, the original did some stuff that this doesn't do, unfortunately. So to start with, you gotta take this off. You can leave the planet key in here. You gotta take this off. You gotta take this off, and you gotta take this off. The original, these were all on struts to like just to move them around, which is a little unfortunate. You have to do this. It's my biggest gripe with this toy. This, you just fold the 5mm peg in, and that is ready to go. So with Sideways himself, you're going to fold these sections up. You're gonna open this up, rotate the head 180 degrees, and just bring this down on its double hinge into place, and then close that up. You're gonna scratch your face, And then you're going to take this on either side, the feet, and fold them in. And we're gonna fold this out. And then you wanna open this entire assembly here in the middle. Now we're gonna take the arms, and the arms just kind of sit in a different orientation than the originals do. So you bring them in, right? But you wanna make sure these tabs are facing up. So you rotate the arms 180 degrees in there and bring them up like that. And the fist just has to face this way. So you do that on both sides. You rotate the arm around, bring the fist up, and that'll just sort of come into place and peg together like so. And that's the top of the jet. Then you can take this piece and you can take it and just sort of plug it into the top, and there's that. Now the legs, you want to take these sections, bring them in, and then take this entire assembly here, fold it up and under. It'll snap into place. And then you bring the feet in. Now they're going to peg in right here, and then they are also going to peg in right underneath the wings. So you get this all lined up and then peg that in and get it all lined up. The heel that sticks out tucks into the orange inside here. And so that keeps the legs closer to the body than the original toy. Then you take the wings and you just plug one in there and plug one in right there. And there you have Sideways in his jet mode. And you can't access this is something I forgot to write in the script, but you can't access this switch anymore underneath. So whatever symbol he is what he is in alt mode, unless you want to remove the gun, change him to an Autobot, then put the gun back on. It's just the fact that there's no hinge here and here that annoys me. Everything else I think is fine because it's just the original toy again. Like there's nothing different other than the parts forming. It looks nice though. That's a nice jet. It does tuck itself in a little bit nicer than the original in the legs, hugging them in a fraction closer to the body. And it still looks very vampiric and bat-like, but this mode doesn't do anything. The original, you could flip the gun up and press the cyber key and to flip the fins out. This you can't because the gun has to parts form. There's no hinge. It's a fun toy and all, but it feels more like a side grade rather than an upgrade of the original because it does things that the original doesn't do, but then it doesn't do things that the original does, and they both offer a slightly different experience. So it doesn't feel like an upgrade, more like a side grade. The original didn't parts form, it had cyber key gimmicks, but it didn't have all the articulation. It's cool and I recommend it. I just wish I didn't have to take it apart much. And what's nice is these are being shipped in cases of 8. So they are literally everywhere right now. I can't go to a Walmart and not see at least 2 or 3 Sidewayses and a couple of Excellions. It's insane. But that's my look at Age of the Primes Cybertron Sideways. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.